Hey YouTube, this is Majesty the Buyer. This subject just came across my mind not too long ago, and I wanted to bring it to the attention of up and coming suppliers, up and coming creators, inventors, people who see themselves as having a new product that eventually may hit the market. And I wanted to let you know on how you would go about presenting this concept, this item to a buyer. Now, I've been in this field for a number of years, and through my LinkedIn, um, many people have reached out to me about new ideas they want to bring in, new items they want to send in to be sold on the market, and I often find myself being able to help them, give them some quick direction. But I realize there are probably a number of other suppliers who may not, or future creators who may not know the details that are needed to go about the first steps of presenting this item or concept to a buyer. So when presenting an item to a buyer as a new supplier, we'll just say 10 key steps you should consider. I'm going to list the 10 steps first, and then I'll give a little bit of a further explanation. So first thing is to research the buyers or the organization for which the buyer works for. Number two would be to prepare a compelling pitch. Number three would be to demonstrate expertise. Number four is to emphasize quality. Number five would be competitive pricing. Number six would be samples and prototypes. Number seven, supply chain and logistics. Number eight, after sales support. Number nine, sustainability and ethical practices. And then number 10 would be references and testimonials. So if we start back at this list, the first item that I mentioned was to research the buyer or research the organization for which the buyer works. Let's not try to sell furniture to a pet store. Let's not try to sell fine wine to a Dollar Tree. Let's understand which categories or which items your buyer is purchasing to make sure that it's pertinent. Your energy exchange with this buyer is going to yield you the results that you're looking for. So understand the buyer's business, industry, and specific needs. This knowledge will help you tailor your presentation to address their requirements effectively. Number two would be prepare a compelling pitch. So in this, you're creating a concise and persuasive presentation that highlights the unique features, benefits, and value proposition of your product. Clearly communicate how your offering meets the buyer's needs and provides solutions to their pain points. So give a great presentation in PowerPoint, bring samples, bring live demos to taste. If it's a food item, bring live finished goods to feel. If it's clothing or furniture or whatever type the item is. If it's a physical item, bring in that as part of your pitch to help give it some legs. Think of Shark Tank in that example. There are very few people who have gone on that episode or an episode of Shark Tank and gave a presentation of what they're offering and not have a live demonstration to show. Essentially, the sharks are buyers, just in fancier suits with a higher budget. Number three, demonstrate expertise. Showcase your knowledge and experience in the industry. Provide evidence of your track record, certifications, awards, and any other relevant credentials that establish your credibility as a supplier. This is where your third-party audits come in. So if your item is being produced in a manufacturing facility, making sure that facility is up to snuff, making sure it's received the highest grade possible. There are no issues outstanding. There's no child labor issues. There are no food safety issues that are outstanding. There are no issues that would present your product as a profitable liability to the buyer trying to make the purchase. Number four, emphasize quality. Highlight the quality standards and processes you have in place to ensure the product meets or exceeds expectations. If applicable, if applicable, provide details about any certifications or quality assurance measures that are relevant to the buyer's industry. So this is where you emphasize the quality of your product and how it's better than what's on the market. but you have to be able to speak to it with evidence. Show details of your item being produced with only the best, highest quality ingredients or highest quality materials. What sets your item apart to a standard that this buyer, if you're dealing with a buyer of higher end goods, would want your product over what they're currently selling or just to test a new idea. Competitive pricing. So present your pricing structure, highlighting any competitive advantages such as cost efficiency, bulk discounts, or flexible payment terms. Be prepared to negotiate and justify pricing if necessary. If you're buying or you're trying to sell an item that has lots of competition, your buyer has probably already seen it. So the cost you present to your buyer in 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 the sales pitch needs to make sense. Needs to be able to allow that buyer to add a margin, a markup, something on there to make a profit. And if it's a brand new item, it needs to be extremely competitive because you're talking about possibly replacing what's already in that buyer's assortment. What makes your brand X better than the number one brand that's out there? You're selling a brand new beer and you're trying to replace it with Corona. You're selling a brand new beer and you're trying to replace Corona with that beer. What makes your beer so special? Think about that in any item you're trying to sell. What makes your item so special? How can you provide the best cost possible? Whether it's, hey, if you buy it in truckload quantities, I can give it to you at the best price possible. If you pick up that truckload instead of me delivering, I can even get it to you for a better price. Have those things in mind when you're sitting down to discuss costing with your buyer. A lot of new suppliers may add a bunch of marketing into the cost of a good that's not sustainable. Let's not make it so that the first year it gets all the marketing that you want and it's great, and then the second year is basically a higher cost item with less marketing. Balancing that out is key crucial because you want longevity in any item you're trying to sell, is the assumption that's made. Samples and prototypes. If feasible, provide samples or prototypes of your product to allow the buyer to assess its quality, functionality, and suitability for their needs. This hands-on experience can significantly impact the buyer's decision-making process. If I can't touch it, taste it, feel it, or share it with my colleagues, it's a concept at that point. It's an idea. And until I can physically see it, or physically taste it, or physically share it, it's not going to be purchased. Just bottom line. I will be able to, you know, talk you along the way and get you to the different steps you need. But as far as bringing it into my assortment, it's not going to happen. I need to be able to, it needs to be tangible. Supply chain and logistics. So outline your capabilities and processes for managing the supply chain, including sourcing, manufacturing, packaging, and delivery. Address any concerns the buyer may have about the reliability and timeliness of your product delivery. Part of buying that's not talked about is forecasting, making sure an item that's in stock stays in stock for our customers to always walk into and grab, for our online customers to always have the ability to order for pickup delivery. You want a top selling item to always be in stock. So many of the issues that suppliers deal with is related to, can I get my items as a buyer that I ordered that are key items when I want them? Are there supply shortages? Are there trucking logistical shortages? Are there sourcing? Is this product coming from overseas and it has to wait at a port for several months and clear through, um, you know, border patrol to make sure that there's nothing wrong? It doesn't get stuck at any point of the transportation. This is key for, buying. For a buyer, we want our items to come when we ask for them to come, when they're needed and demanded by our customers. After sales support. So explain the level of customer service and technical support you offer after the purchase. This can include warranty information, return policies, and availability of spare parts or repairs. It also includes marketing. If you bring in an item that's not successful, how do you plan on helping exit this item? having some capital set aside to help with an exit plan of your item, whether that be marketing, couponing, adding some kind of value to help move your product. Sustainability and ethical practices. If applicable, emphasize any sustainable or eco-friendly aspects of your product, such as materials, manufacturing processes, or packaging. Additionally, discuss your commitment to ethical business practices, such as fair trade or responsible sourcing. In this sustainability, recycling, how can is your product made from recycled, I don't know, trees or paper or aluminum? Do you seek fair trade coffee beans from just the best hills of Colombia? Be able to speak to how yeah, how you as a supplier are impacting the environment in a positive way. One of the things we love as buyers and the customers love are suppliers that understand that the earth is a place that we want to keep healthy. Um, you want to be able to speak to how your product's life cycle is not going to damage the environment for the future. References and testimonials. If you have worked with other clients in the past, provide references or testimonials that showcase positive experiences and outcomes. This can help build trust and confidence in your product or business. So this touches two different aspects: sales and reviews. Do you have sales that you can justify the success of your item with? Do you have positive reviews that you can also justify a positive customer experience with? Being able to present those things to a buyer shows some credibility. Being able to show that you've been able to scale up from a smaller footprint to a larger footprint without a hiccup is key, depending on the size and scope of what you're trying to sell to a buyer. If I'm a buyer for a large organization, my sale may be 50% of all of the business you do all year. And I need to be able to be confident that what you're selling me will deliver to me without a hiccup, with the quality I expect, with the satisfaction that my customers that I'm buying for will expect. Thank you. For more on buying retail in general, follow me, subscribe, and hit that like button.